So before I get into today's video, I definitely want to let you guys know that last night about 11:30, which is very uncommon for me, I ended up dropping a video on investing and the Acorns investment app. So if you guys are interested in learning more about investing, definitely check out that video because I do think it's super helpful. And I know I uploaded it super late, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to get that content out because I've been keeping a streak of putting videos out every Monday, so I just wanted to keep that streak going. So let's get right back into the video. What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod, and I'm a full-time eBay and Poshmark seller. And in today's video, I want to share some more brands that I don't pick up while I'm sourcing for clothes on eBay and on Poshmark. So if you guys are interested in these kind of videos, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, y'all, so the first brand that I do not pick up anytime I'm sourcing to sell anything on eBay or on Poshmark is a brand called Joe Fresh. Now, Joe Fresh is very similar to H&M and Zara and a lot of those type of stores. So it's basically just a fast fashion store. And for the most part, the quality really isn't that strong. And its overall resale value is definitely not that good. I've even seen some pieces from Joe Fresh and it was brand new with the tags, and I definitely still passed on it because even though it's brand new with the tags, it still might only sell on eBay for like 15. And if you're lucky, if you're patient, you might get up to 20 bucks for whatever it is that you might find, even if it's brand new with the tags. Now, keep in mind everything on my list, I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't sell, but for me, it just doesn't fit my model and it just doesn't work for my store. I like to sell things that sell within at least 30 days or less, so carrying some of these brands just wouldn't fit my model. So I'm not telling you guys not to pick these brands up, but it really just doesn't sell for me. And unless you can get it for like 50 cents to $1, like a lot of you guys do if you shop in some of these Goodwill outlets, definitely go ahead and do that. But for me, I usually pick up stuff from anywhere between like 6 to as high as 10 bucks. So the things that I pick up definitely needs to at least double or triple my money at the very least. So keep that in mind as I continue to go through this list. Next on the list is St. John's Bay. Now, St. John's Bay is a JCPenney's brand, and that brand, I'm not going to say it's terrible or it doesn't sell like before. There are some pieces like some of their outerwear that do sell for decent profit, but at the same time, a lot of their flannels and a lot of their pants, I see it all the time in the thrift store, and it definitely isn't a brand that I pick up. So unless you can get it for like 50 cents to $1, I would suggest picking it up. But if you have to pay anything more than that, I would probably pass on it. Now, another brand that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have seen while you've been outsourcing is Port Authority. Now, for some reason, every time I see Port Authority, it always has like some type of company embroidery on it, and those type of stuff is a hard sell as is. But the Port Authority brand, period, just isn't a very strong brand. And if you was to go on eBay, I'm pretty sure you might see some soles. But trust me, it's definitely not a brand to pick up, especially if you're brand new into reselling and you're trying to make a quick flip. So definitely stay away from anything that says Port Authority. Another brand that I always pass on is Foundry. Now, I do believe Foundry is another JCPenney's brand, and just like St. John's Bay, it has a lot of flannels, a lot of outdoorsy type of stuff, but it just doesn't translate well on eBay or on Poshmark. So anytime I see anything that says Foundry, which is usually a plaid shirt, I always pass on it because it just doesn't sell fast enough and it doesn't provide enough profit for me, so I always pass on Foundry. Next up is George, and I actually got somebody in my comments one time that said they do pick up George brand pieces, and George brand is actually from Walmart, and usually some people might get a bunch of stuff on clearance, and it might be like dress shirts or some button-up shirts or some pants, and it might have that George logo on it. But for the most part, George isn't a really strong brand to resell on eBay or on Poshmark. And some people, they probably still pick it up and they probably do make a couple bucks here and there depending on how much they paid for it. But for me, it just doesn't fit my overall pricing model. So I never pick up George anytime I see it. And it usually is just a very low quality, whether it's a dress shirt, whether it's a casual shirt. It just never really does anything for me. It doesn't get me excited anytime I'm thrifting, so I always pass on it. Another brand that I pass on all the time is Walter Hagen. Now, this brand, I'm not going to say it's a terrible brand. Sometimes when I see some of their polo shirts or some of their golf shirts, it's not terrible quality. Some of the prints, they actually do look pretty good. But Walter Hagen, that brand just isn't very strong. And for me, it's like a lower end Peter Millar or a lower end Travis Matthew. It's just not as desirable, and a lot of people aren't looking for that, so it tends to sit around for a very long time. But like I always say, if you guys get it from your Goodwill outlet and you pay maybe 50 cents to $1 for it, I would suggest maybe picking it up and just holding on to it, because it might end up selling once the season changes and people are looking for more golf clothing and stuff like that. But like I said, I usually pass on it every single time. Another brand that I pass on all the time is Devon Jones. Now, Devon Jones is also similar to Walter Hagen. It's just a very low-end golf equipment, like golf clothing brand. Usually I always pass on it as well. None of their prints or none of their fabrics are like expensive or of high quality, so that's a really good indicator for me why I would always pass on a certain brand. Because for some brands, if the quality of the fabric is really good, like if it's a low-end brand but it's cashmere or it's alpaca, I might still pick it up. But brands like Walter Hagen and Devon Jones, they usually rarely ever use high quality fabrics in their stuff, so I always pass on it as well. And last but certainly not least, the brand that I pass on, and this is only from pure experience, I've made this mistake several times and I feel like it's only right to put you guys onto this one, but that brand is Joseph A. Bank. Now, I see this brand at every single thrift store, and trust me, I've went to thrift stores basically all across the country, and this brand is always in the thrift store. And unless it's from a cashmere or alpaca or something like a very high quality fabric, I will always pass on it. And to be 100% honest with you, even if it is a high quality fabric like cashmere, like if it's a cashmere overcoat, I might still pass on it because I know the Joseph A. Bank brand just isn't that strong. And it does sell on eBay, so I know somebody might try to kill me in the comments and say they sell Joseph A. Bank all the time. But just from personal experience, I tried to sell Joseph A. Bank at least 5 different occasions, and I tried selling cashmere, I tried selling merino wool, and just thinking I would be able to sell it based off of the fabric alone. But trust me, it still took me as long as 6 months to get rid of some of those Joseph A. Bank pieces. So now anytime I see it, even if it's brand new with the tags or it's from a really high quality fabric, I still pass on it because that brand is relatively expensive in the store and in the mall, but when it translates onto eBay and onto Poshmark, it just doesn't hold its value. So definitely take that into consideration anytime you guys are trying to make some quick flips on eBay or on Poshmark. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. And this is actually the 3rd time I'm doing one of these brands not to pick up. So if you guys are interested, make sure you check out the first one, and I'll put that in the cards and in the description. And the second one will also be in the cards and in the description as well. So altogether, I'm probably giving you guys maybe 30 brands to avoid while you're outsourcing and thrifting for, you know, things to sell on eBay and on Poshmark. So just go through all of those videos, and I'm pretty sure you guys can learn a lot of information. And I'll probably keep putting these videos out on a consistent basis because trust me, there are thousands and thousands of brands out there, and only a few of them are really worth your time when it comes to trying to resell them. So I have a ton of other brands that I can share with you guys, but if there's anything that I may have forgotten, drop that in the comment section so we can keep that conversation going, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.